and back
You're
on
back.
Can TV on Chicago Hill.
Yes, yes.
Meleika,
Yes.
what's up?
What's going on?
You got a birthday coming?
Yes, I do.
Ooh-wee.
Tomorrow.
Sweet 16? What the heck is going on?
Yes.
Man.
Yes.
Sweet 16?
I wish I could be 16.
What were you
again and
doing
do
at
it over.
16?
16, I was on the pom-pom squad.
I could tell you got that fine hair.
I was just daydreaming a lot about where I wanted to be. I wanted to get out of school so fast.
Well, you know what? I got to tell you, God has blessed you, and I'm so happy that I can celebrate your birthday tomorrow on WVON.
Yes,
and we're going to do a celebration for you. I don't know what we're going to do, but we're going to figure it out.
Hey, I'm just happy to be here.
But we're on Can TV, Chicago Hill, F.D.R. Community Housing Foundation, and we have a special guest. I don't know who's the special guest, either the mother or the son. But we have two special guests. If it wasn't for the mother, it wouldn't be the son.
It wouldn't be the son.
If it wasn't for the son listening to his mama,
right.
the mother,
they wouldn't be here.
They wouldn't be here. So this is just a great opportunity to bring people together. So if we really want communities to grow, and this show is all about communities growing. You know, we want people to be able to live in communities and grow them and buy houses.
Right.
And so
you got to pour into the youth because they're the ones who are going to be buying.
They're going to buy.
Or taking over property.
So who we got today?
Today we have Freddie Golden.
He's golden, I tell you.
that last name is so fitting, isn't it?
Yes.
Like golden child, the golden boy.
Yes.
Yes.
And we got his mom.
And we have his mom. She is like the queen.
She's the queen.
Raised a prince.
Yes. Oh, how about it?
Yes.
We didn't even rehearse that. And so, who's going to introduce the prince?
You know what?
Hold on.
Yeah.
We're gonna figure out who's gonna bring in that prince, because the most important thing is what this show is about on Fridays is bringing forth positive youth.
Yes.
Or youth that really need support.
Yes.
We've had some super fantastic youth that have been dynamic, and I think that to dedicate our show to building up communities through the youth is what this is about.
Yes, the youth that we've had on have been an example of what support and being poured into what it produces.
Oh yeah, who we had a few. I mean, over the past weeks we've had.
We had Sebastian.
You remember, because it is your birthday, so you might not remember all the people.
You know, my memory is starting to get a little questionable.
While she's thinking about who we had, 312-738-1060, you could call us and help her remember, but go ahead.
Yes, we've had Sebastian Knowles.
Who is Sebastian?
Now, Sebastian was a 20-year-old that ran for mayor.
Oh, my God, yes.
Yes.
From Evanston.
From Evanston, yes. We had Karan Patterson.
Yeah.
He was running an organization to help mentor young men in high school, and he's still a young man himself.
Yeah.
Awesome. We've had Kayan. He was martial arts, graduated, I think, Howard.
He graduated. He was Howard student, yes.
Yes, and he's doing a lot of mentoring with the youth. We've had some.
But we had that
guests.
one youth that was there that lost his father at an early age.
Yes.
And he was fascinating. I mean, he was the one that I said could be my son. But I don't have a son.
Yeah, he was. I said he was my son too.
Oh yeah. So did we
had.
birth a son on Can TV? Did we have a baby?
That's our Can TV.
Yeah, you my Can TV baby mama. Because we didn't get married, so.
Your Can TV baby mama.
So here we are. We have a lot of babies together. Just so you know.
Yes.
We got a
tribe.
I
hope
the mom here tonight don't be offended, but we get ready to adopt her baby.
Yes.
And as soon as we're able to bring this all together, she's going to see what we're talking about. So, but until they are able to come right on, who do we have? Just tell us.
Well, we have with us Freddie Golden, who earned $1 million in academic scholarships, and I know it was people reaching out to me like, I need to know how he did that. Like,
Yeah.
what? Like, people want the info. Like, how did that happen? So probably more than anything, they want to hear from Mom. Like,
I think so.
the Queen. How did she do that?
Well, when I look at it, I saw things like Michigan State University,
Yes.
Morehouse, DePaul,
Yes.
Bradley, NC, Iowa, Fisk,
Yes.
Marquette, Hampton, NIU, HSSU,
Yes.
WI, JSU, and the mom is getting ready to bring on her son because look at her smiling. She is smiling because she got a son that, this is something to be proud of.
Yes,
and Mom,
it is.
tell us all about it. Introduce your son and just tell us the story about him from birth to now.
Wow. Well, thank you so much. I am so excited to just be here with the both of you to talk about what community is. My name is Wanda Cannon. I live in North Lawndale, do a lot of work in Garfield Park and North Lawndale, and very, very passionate, have always been very, very passionate about our communities. Our family has been on the West Side, particularly in North Lawndale, for 6 generations. And I'm excited to tell you about Freddie Golden, my son, before I make
my
it.
son.
Listen, I am willing to allow you to adopt him because it does take a village.
Yes,
so
thank you.
I am excited to
That's
hear.
our son.
That's our son. That's our son.
Sharing. I don't mind sharing. But let me tell you about Freddie. So I am a mother of 4, single mom. And I remember when they were very, very young, I told them, I said, your lives will not feel any deficiencies or deficits or anything like that. I want you to know that we are a tribe, we are a unit, and we all have a role to play in our family unit. And I remember Freddie just growing up, I think that, he always had this sense of, he was very, very calm, very, very even keeled, the same kid that you guys will get exposed to today. He has always been that way, but I always think that Freddie has had a sense of civic responsibility without even knowing what that was, right? It was just kind of inside of him. And I remember when he graduated valedictorian of his grammar school, which was Willa Cather, right on Washington and what is that, Holman or Sacramento, Sacramento, I believe, right? And I remember Freddie graduated from Cather. He had done very, very well, tested very well, got into all high schools all over the city. And he intentionally told me, he said, I don't want to go to any school outside of my community.
Amen.
I want to prove that good things can come out of North Lawndale and good people can come out of the West Side of Chicago, just like you, Mom. You're great.
Awesome.
I want to show that, Black men and youth, we don't have to go anywhere else. We don't have to leave our community to show that we're amazing. It's happening. I see it. And I was a little apprehensive because I was just like, I hear what you're saying, but the elements. And
it is tough, Mom. Mom,
it's tough.
I don't want to interrupt your flow, but I would like for you to tell us about this element in Lawndale.
Yes.
You didn't leave, you're still there, but the element that you have to deal with and struggle with for your son and your children.
Absolutely. It's very real. I mean, like, to the point, I was having dinner with someone last night and we were talking, like, I want to get a doggy so bad. I want a dog for my family and my children so bad. And that may not mean anything to you all right now. However, I panic a little bit because if I got a dog, my young Black boys are going to have to walk the dog. And my concern that they leave my house and just walk down the alley or walk down the street to walk to the park to walk the dog, my heart beats. When I look at the Citizens app, all the things that are happening in our community, from violence to police to racism to all of those things, it stops me from just having an enjoyable life and just having something as basic as a doggy. I have refrained from that because of that. And that's just an example, right? So when Freddie said that he wanted to stay and go to school in our community, I had that same type of thing. Okay, well, if he leaves the house, he's going to have to walk down the street, or am I going to have to drive him to school every day? Because of the dynamics that happen in our community, whether there are shootings, whether there are muggings, whether there are, and kids pick on kids, adults pick on, it's just, there's a lot of things that we face that are not happening in other communities. And it's unfortunate, but that was an apprehension that I had when he said that he wanted to go to a neighborhood school, and things are just very, very different than what they were when we were growing up in the, but granted, I didn't go to a neighborhood school. I went to school way up north for the same reasons. My mother had those same convictions.
So that's amazing, Meleika, for generations. Not only did you have to go outside of your community to go to a school that was acceptable to help you become who you are today, then generations later, your children have to go to a school outside the neighborhood or be forced to stay in and deal with the conditions to be the best that they could be. So
absolutely, it's tough.
How did you protect him? How did you keep him safe from the elements? What did you do every day, or what did you tell him?
If I'm honest, I just prayed and asked God to cover him. You know what I mean? There wasn't, I also believe that Freddie, is responsible. I am his mother, but Freddie is responsible for his own life and his own convictions. I know what leaning into my convictions have done for me in the past, that it has led me down. And so I had to trust that the same God that I trusted in, who to guide me, would be the same God that Freddie would trust in to guide him. And that's just the honest truth. It was but I had a praying grandmama and a praying mama.
Well, so enough of you, mommy. Bring on Freddie. This show is about the youth, and we want to hear from Freddie.
Yes, please. So introducing my son, Freddie Golden. He is now a senior at North Lawndale College Prep and has done amazing things. And I'm going to let him come on. I will say before he joins, I'm so proud because from freshman year to now, Freddie has all A's and A pluses on his report card. He is now #1 in North Lawndale College Prep. And I'm excited to introduce him so that he can share his own personal story and journey. Freddie,
it's on you, my man. Let's go, Freddie.
Freddie.
Man, you know what, Meleika, before Freddie talk, I ain't never got all A's.
Me neither.
The heck is, I ain't never got all A's, Freddie. Lord, the sky's the limit for you, my man.
Thank you.
And I only got accepted at like 2 schools. I know you don't know where to start, but I need you to just name the schools. I named them a few times, but there are some schools that you might want to name. What are the schools that you got accepted at?
So, just looking back, I've got accepted to schools like Marquette. We have Fisk, Bradley, NIU, the New York Institute of Technology, DePaul, Hampton, Morehouse, Alabama A&M, just different schools like that. Just it's a couple, but yeah, those are my top ones.
Well, hey, I gotta ask you this between you and me, my man, between us men, which school have the hottest girls that you looking at?
Mom ain't trying to hear that.
Now, which one got the hottest girls that you got your eyes on?
She don't want him thinking about that.
You can tell me, just between us now. Ain't nobody, it's just us talking.
I visited a couple schools. At the moment, Morehouse is my top choice.
Ain't no girls at Morehouse?
It's
Spelman right is across the street.
At Morehouse, I don't blame you, Morehouse. You know who went to Morehouse? My hero. I think Dr. King went there.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm gonna tell you, and you know what, Mom? You got a son that's got his head on. I talk about girls, he talking about education. You winning. Go for it. Keep going, my man.
Thank you.
Thank you.
He's got vision.
He's got
because
vision.
For a young man to say, I'm going to stay in the community because I want to prove something to the community, that something amazing, powerful can come out of the situation. I mean, how many kids are thinking like that?
You know, they don't. I mean, in
That's
fact,
vision. That's
when
visionary.
we were growing up, it's like them white schools are where you know. It's just so. I mean, you should be commended, and I'm gonna tell you, the future is going to be brighter because of you.
Thank you.
But you know, what's the biggest challenge that you see as a citizen of America? You know, not just as a black person, but as a young person. What's your biggest challenge?
I think my biggest challenge is just growing up, being that black man, having to come into the role of being a man in a nation that was kind of built on the foundation of racism and oppression. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like it's a big. I have to grow into myself as a black man, and I feel like I'm getting to that point, and I feel the pressures of you know, just the systematic racism, just different things that go around in my community that I want to have control of, but I don't always have control of.
What don't you have control of? Help people understand how to see you as a citizen, as a productive citizen, not just as a black person. Just see me as you see my peer that may be lighter than me, that may have different hair than me, that may live in a different community. That's what you want, right?
Right. In different communities, in my community, we don't have as many resources as a community, say like in the suburbs, like a school in the suburbs, they might have a different budget for their kids that we just don't have. And this limits our resources and just the things that we have accessible for us to really thrive in our community and in our schools. So what I do with this information, I just take the positive. I look at what I do have instead of what I don't have.
Did you hear that? I think people need to. Meleika, we got to make sure that we let people hear what he said. He's not making any excuses. Now his mom already told us that North Lawndale, where they live, have many challenges. And then you have a young man that has already started in the negative, not because his mother or his family, but because the color of his skin. And he's telling us, I already know that suburban schools have more resources than me, but it doesn't matter to me. I'm going to make it.
Exactly. And he seems to understand choices very early on. Like he made some good decisions early.
Meleika, that's pretty powerful that you bring out the fact that he understands choices, because that's what it comes down to.
Yes.
You know, I'm going to accept the choices. I'm going to make the decisions, and it's my decisions and my choices that's going to make my life.
Exactly.
I also think that, you know, I growing up or watching Freddie grow up, there was one pivotal moment, and Freddie, I want you to share about this. And we talked about this on a few college visits and I think this was probably a turning point when it came to the choices. I remember taking Freddie and his friends to one of their peers' funeral. He had gotten shot. And the things that Freddie told me about that moment and choices and what it meant to him and who he wants to be. Freddie, can you just lean into that a little bit and just kind of tell everybody kind of what happened and how it shaped a little bit? Some of the same things you shared with me. I think that might.
So, like my mom said, I went to Cather Elementary, and while I was going to the school, I met a close friend that I played basketball with. And his name was Devontae Jackson. While I was in this same space with him, I could tell that he wasn't led in the right way. He wasn't given the exact same role models that I was. You know what I'm saying? And he was going down the wrong path. And just days before he started his freshman year, he was shot. And when I saw that, it was just, we're coming from the same place, in the same school, the same neighborhood, and it's just he was shot days before his freshman year. He didn't even get a chance to go into high school. So it really affected me in a way to say that I want to be that role model for young kids when I grow up, so that they don't have to lose their life because they don't have those positive influences. You know what I'm saying? I don't want kids to go down a bad path or feel like that they have to make bad decisions because they don't have anybody there for them. You know what I'm saying? I want to be that person for the youth, and I seen that in Devontae, and that's the message that I got from that.
Well,
And one thing
Mom.
that Freddie told me was he said the thing is when role models are there, but a lot of times they are outside of our community coming in to give conversation and kind of all of that. He said he wanted to show that you can grow up right here.
Well, the question is, what's a role model, Meleika?
Well, he didn't have to look past the front door for his role model. He had a mother praying for him, and
Well, but kids don't see mothers and fathers as role models
they
too much.
should.
But what is a role model, Meleika? What do you think of a role model? Because I would really want to hear Freddie's definition of a role model.
To me, a role model sets an example, a very positive example. It doesn't matter if they're rich, poor. They just set a powerful example.
That's what a role model is.
To me, that's what a role model is.
But I think what's more important about this show, is what does Freddie think a role model is?
Yes.
I know what a role model is, and I know the role model is not Charles Barkley.
To some people.
Hey, remember? See, Freddie don't know what we talking about, but Mom knows, and you know, because Mom, what did Charles say? I'm not a role model. So, Freddie, what is a role model?
Role models to me, I kind of agree. A role model is somebody that you can model your life after, somebody that you can really look up to in terms of the fact that I want to be where he is, or I want to be where they are at that moment. You know what I'm saying? I feel like a role model is more impactful when they come from your community. You know what I'm saying? Because you can relate to that person. You can relate to them. You could say, oh, he came from the same place I come from. I have no excuse not to make it where he is right now. Yeah. That's what a role model is to me.
Well, you are a role model. Let me tell you why you're a role model. Because there's so many people like you that don't understand the struggles of living on the west side, living on the south side, living in any urban community, and you've proven that you can make it. You've made it because you're getting ready to get in circles that many of them don't even understand what it's like.
He's made it because he has a lot of choices.
Oh, did he? Oh, but they didn't come easy. They didn't come
easy. No.
Yeah. You
Tell us
earned
about
it.
that. Yes, you earned.
And I think that's the thing too. When I posted that kind of image of Freddie, Freddie, I would love for you to talk about, because there's peer pressure to be social, there's peer pressure to stay up late at night, there's peer pressure to stay on video games. I watched Freddie live through this and not just make choices outside, but make choices inside the house every day. And Freddie, can you just unpack that a little bit? I don't mean to interview you.
No, Mom, that's good, because being Freddie is not easy, Mom. Because Freddie could have easily chosen a different path. And I'll talk to you guys about a different path of a 16-year-old that was killed in Woodlawn because he didn't follow the love of his mom. But go ahead, Freddie.
Yeah. So when I chose to stay inside my community and go to North Lawndale coming out of my elementary school, I knew that it was going to be a tough task. I knew about the peer pressure that I was going to receive. My main goal, my main focus was to dodge all that peer pressure and to get to where I am right now. So I had to work to do. I knew that it was going to require work. I knew that it was going to require work ethic. It was just how I was going to take that. I made it a point in my mind. I said, I'm going to move past all these distractions. I know what community I live in. I know that we're not given as much resources, but skip all of that. I'm going to make it a point to get past all of that and do my best, do the best that I can, be my best self in every situation. I just made it that point from freshman year, and since then I've just been getting like all A's. I've joined many programs that have like the Peace Warriors, where we exemplify the message of Martin Luther King and his nonviolence, and we spread that across the city of Chicago. So just different things like that. I just joined clubs. I stay in the right mind frame. Even when I'm slipping off, I always catch myself to say, like,
did you hear that? he knows when things may not be going right, and I catch myself. Freddie, that's critical.
That's an old spirit.
That's an old spirit.
You've been here before.
Because everybody slipped. And I didn't mean to cut you off, but the fact that you recognize that this isn't right, I got to pull myself back. Right. That's great. And you've been, God is blessing you.
So how did the scholarships, you have a lot of parents, they were on social media looking like, so tell us, you got to tell us how that came about, how that happened, because there's a lot of parents researching right now
how much you get?
$1 million.
$1 million. All right. Can I borrow some money? Is that in your pocket right now? You got a bank account with that money? I just need to know. You buy your mama a new house with that money? What you do?
So I would say
that need to be a law, by the way. I'm just saying, put that out there. Who passing bills? I'm just saying.
I got you, Mom.
So I would say just it has to start early. It has to start from freshman year. From freshman year, I made sure that my transcript was perfect. Any college I went to, I made sure that they couldn't deny me. That I made sure that I was impeccable, no matter my circumstances, no matter where I'm from. I made sure that I was impeccable. Like when they see me, they're gonna see whatever they see anywhere else, the best of the best. You know what I'm saying? So I just made sure from the beginning, for freshman year, all A's.
Freshman year.
When I got to junior and senior year, I knew that my SAT scores were going to be important to get into college, and I knew that I just had to apply from that point. So once you start early, you can set yourself up for future success. You know what I'm saying? And when I started my SAT, I studied for like once the SAT came, we had an SAT boot camp. I studied for a week straight just so I can get that. It could be no place where people could question my character. Like they could say, if I had all A's and a bad SAT score, people could be like, oh, he has good grades, maybe he isn't challenged enough. The SAT score is bad, so he isn't performing as well as other people across America. But I made it a point to where I'm gonna get this high SAT score, so nobody could question my character even in that aspect. So it's just start from the beginning, build your resume, build your transcript, get your SAT score where it needs to be. And then at that point, it's just applying. You have to apply, put your best foot forward when it comes to essays, put your best foot forward when it comes to just the college application, telling them everything that they need to know about you. Join clubs like the Peace Warriors that really show your heart when it comes to supporting your community and supporting people around you. Just join clubs, start early, make sure that SAT score is good, and the scholarships will just flow in from there.
Man, look at him.
I know. Were any books given to you? Like who were some people that you may have read who fed all this into you? I mean, other than your mom, but were there books that you read? Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King Jr.
Luther Vandross? He don't know nothing about no Luther Vandross.
He in the house now.
Your mama be playing Luther Vandross. I get it. All right. But to your point, to Meleika's point, how did you get this? Are you a first generation college student, or your mom? How did this happen?
Oh yeah, my mom, she went to college. And my sisters, I have two older sisters that went to college too, so they're a big inspiration to me as well.
All right, we you know what? We're getting ready to go. We have 30 seconds. We need your mom to praise your son, praise your mom, so we could close out. You guys got 10 seconds to praise each other. Praise.
Thank you.
Go for it, Mom. Go praise.
I'll let
praise
you finish,
Mom.
Freddie. So I'm excited about Freddie. He's amazing. The things that he said, I did not help Freddie do any of this. He decided. He was up 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, sometimes putting in applications after football and basketball practice and all of that. He was just determined, and I'm excited to see his fruit.
Praise Mama.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be able to do anything without her. She's my big inspiration. The reason why I do most of the things that I do on a day-to-day basis. So without her, it's no me.
Hey, that's what you parents and students, you got to know we in it together. We got another son.
Yes.
This is Chicago Hill. Congratulations, Freddie and Mom. We'll see you guys next week. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.
Take care. Thank you.